Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film. This is going to be a top 10 list of movies you can watch right now on Amazon Prime US for the month of October 2019. Let's get started. Number 10, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. In this continuation to the adventures of the demon superhero, an evil elf breaks an ancient pact between humans and creatures as he declares war against humanity. He is on a mission to release the Golden Army, a deadly group of fighting machines that could destroy the human race. As hell on earth is ready to erupt, Hellboy and his crew set out to defeat the evil prince before the Golden Army can destroy humans' existence. Working from an original story, I feel that Del Toro really encapsulated everything you wanted to know about the character of Hellboy while putting him in these stunning cinematic battles against these grotesquely beautiful creatures that he fights throughout the movie. This was a really well staged, fantastic jump from the first one, which was already a great movie. It's just unfortunate we never got the continuation of this saga, rounding out a terrific trilogy. Still, I feel that Hellboy 2 is probably the best iteration of that character and well worth checking out if you haven't seen it. Number 9, The Talented Mr. Ripley. Manhattan lavatory attendant Tom Ripley borrows a Princeton jacket to play the piano at a garden party when the wealthy father of a recent Princeton grad chats Tom up. Tom pretends to know the son and is soon offered $1,000 to go to Italy, convince Dickie Greenleaf to return home. But in Italy, Tom attaches himself to Dickie and Marge, Dickie's cultured fiancée, pretending to love jazz and harbouring homoerotic hopes as he soaks in luxury. Anthony Minghella's fantastic The Talented Mr. Ripley is probably regarded as a modern classic these days. It has one of the best casts of young actors at the time who were all doing superb performances that really just add so much to the story. They're so nuanced and layered that every time I watch this, I'm just marvelled that it's not probably talked about more than it should be. The Talented Mr. Ripley is a really interesting adult drama thriller that I can thoroughly recommend. Number 8, High Noon. On the day he gets married and hangs up his badge, Marshal Will Kane is told that the man he sent to prison years before, Frank Miller, is returning on the noon train to exact his revenge. Having initially decided to leave with his new spouse, Will decides he must go back and face Miller. However, when he seeks the help of the townspeople he has protected for so long, they turn their backs on him. It seems Kane may have to face Miller alone, as well as the rest of his gang who are waiting for him at the station. High Noon is a fantastic movie. It's one that I grew up watching with my father and have really strong feelings about. I love the character of the Marshal who has devoted his life to protecting the people round about him, who's never asked for anything, and in his moment of need finds that nobody is there for him. Nobody is there the way he has been for them, and he has to stand up to this threat alone. There is no thought in this character of running away from this problem. He is going to face it head on, which tells you everything you need to know about the man, and even more so about the town people that are with him. If you haven't seen High Noon, this is an utter classic. Number 7, Event Horizon. The year is 2047 and a ship named the Event Horizon has reappeared after disappearing 7 years prior, in experiments for faster than light travel. A rescue hastily speeds to the returned vessel after a transmission was picked up from the ship, garbled but vaguely resembling a human voice. As the crew reach the ship and spend longer on it, it appears that someone, or something, is toying with them, and more. The question is, what has the Event Horizon become? This is one of the best examples I can think of science fiction melded with horror. It has strong aspects of both. It has a terrific cast. It is a story that actually really strongly held together. It's one of Paul W.S. Anderson's best movies, which I know is not saying much, but it's a movie that is visually striking and truly horrific. And when I think of October, I want to recommend something that may have been forgotten or something that you haven't meant to watch, but never got round to. Event Horizon is the movie that you want to check out this month. Number 6, Bernie. In the tiny rural town of Carthage, Texas, assistant funeral director Bernie Tiede was one of the town's most beloved residents. He taught Sunday school, sang in the church choir, and was always willing to lend a helping hand. Everybody loved and appreciated Bernie, so it came as no surprise when he befriended Marjorie Nugent, an affluent widow who was well known for her sour attitude as her fortune. Richard Linklater directs this movie in a strange fashion, incorporating this true story with a kind of documentarian fashion. We have fictional elements of their recreations of actual events, along with actual townspeople talking to the camera, telling their feelings about Bernie. And what the best thing about this story is how this character has done something really deplorable, but nobody blames him for it. Nobody looks down their nose at him. In fact, they want him to go off with this crime because he's such a nice guy. And he's portrayed brilliantly by Jack Black, who just gives this character the kind of pathos and charisma that you understand where these people are coming from. Kind of. This is a movie that I don't really want to spoil too much for you, but it's really funny, it's really endearing, and kind of shocking that this actually happened. Number 5, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. A former police officer is now a lone wanderer travelling through a devastated Australia after a nuclear war, looking for now priceless petrol. He lives to survive and is none too pleased when he finds himself the only hope of a small group of honest people running a remote oil refinery. He must protect them from the bike gangs that has terrorised them while transporting their entire fuel supply to safety. Mad Max 2 The Road Warrior is the best of the original trilogy. It took the punk elements of the first one and just exponentially blew them up, creating vicious bad guys, a great anti-hero in the form of Max, a community that's tied together by needs and wants, and just puts them all in danger and just lets that melting pot boil nicely. It's terrific action in amongst this, and I really do just think the visual style and the energy encapsulated within this film is just timeless. Number 4, The Midnight Meat Train. A photographer's obsessive pursuit of a dark subject matter leads him into the path of a serial killer who stalks the late night commuters, ultimately butchering them in the most gruesome ways imaginable. Bradley Cooper stars in this adaptation of Clive Barker's novel. The Midnight Meat Train is a rather strange horror movie as you find this photographer compelled to stalk this stalker as he starts to discover that something on these late night trains isn't quite right, and he just cannot let go of it. As much as everybody tells him to just tear away, move on, he finds this compulsion eating him up inside, and it's all captured in this wonderful horror, gory-centric movie that is really quite wonderful. Number 3, Buried Alive. Clint is an everyday working man whose wife Joanna is having an affair with a doctor. They plot to kill him and get the insurance money. Only trouble, the drug overdose they gave him doesn't kill him. Luckily for Clint, he's buried in a cheap wooden box and he unburies himself. Just remember, hell hath no fury like a man buried alive. This was a made-for-TV movie and I caught it years back and I just loved it. And when I searched it out again, I fell in love with it all over again. It is wonderful. The revenge that the man goes to, the whole kind of over-dramatic plot at the beginning of the movie gives way for this really twisted cat and mouse game of just ultimate torture at the end. And the fact that it's made for TV doesn't diminish the tense nature, the atmosphere, the suspense and the horror elements that you get in this. This is one of these movies that I strongly recommend to people all the time because I just feel it's a wonderful film. Number 2, Good Time. Motivated by an almost ferocious love for his intellectually disabled brother, Nick, and an explosive mix of desperation and thirst for a better life, the abrasive and fledgling criminal Connie involves his sibling in an ill-conceived bank robbery that swears to be a quick and easy job. Instead, things go utterly wrong and Nick will wind up in Rikers Island after one unanticipated complication, forcing the desperate but criminal determined Connie to embark on a nightmarish, no-holds-barred quest to bail Nick out. Robert Pattinson stars as Connie and it is a wonderful performance in the Safdie brothers' Good Time. This was a movie that is spent all in one night, somebody desperate to get to an end game and is just trying everything they can, getting more and more exasperated and desperate each and every time to try and save his brother from the situation that he got him into. It's a terrific performance by Patterson, who really just breaks the mould of his previous preconceptions, and I think it's just a wonderfully great drama tale. Number 1, Book of Monsters. Sophie's 18th birthday party becomes a bloodbath when 6 terrifying monsters descend upon her house, intent on devouring the party guests and killing anyone who tries to leave. As her school friends are torn apart and consumed, Sophie must rally a band of misfits and take up arms to send the party crashers back to hell. Best thing about Book of Monsters is the practical nature. They have buckets of blood, gruesome practical monsters that are just fun. It's a really short run time and it just feels nicely done. It takes everybody to a cabin in the woods, kind of, and just unleashes utter hell. And it's incredibly fun and endearing and memorable once it's done. And once again, practical effects are way better than CG. This is a really fun, entertaining horror movie for you to check out this October. So there we have it, 10 fantastic movies for you to check out on Amazon Prime US. If I've missed anything off my list, or if you have any thoughts about my list, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next month for another top 10. Thanks for watching.